In the olden times, a Mizo tribe member never lived in isolation, cut off from the rest of the clan, but he stayed with the rest of the group, whose members helped each other in need. A Mizo tribe member would not seek his individual profit, but rather the good of the community. Due to this, traits such as sacrifice for others, daring even death to help a friend, and elevating friends and other people at the cost of oneself deeply defined the Mizo ethical code of conduct. The beginning of all these altruistic virtues was the bachelor's dormitory, or the Zolbuk. The earliest record of the institution of Zolbuk was at a village called Don, somewhere between 1600 AD and 1640 AD. It appeared that in olden times, the Zolbuk was the only place of gathering and an institution to carry out important activities. All the bachelors of the village slept in the Zolbuk, and here they received instructions on how to live. They listened to the rebukes or praises from the elders and learned practical advice, besides taking part in the discussions for the security and development of the community. In the olden times, the seniors among the young men, called the Valupa, were endowed with much respect and authority. After dinner, the young men would come to the Zolbuk, lean on the lintel at the entrance called the Bobel, and sing their hearts out. After some time, the Valupas would announce that it was time for them to visit the lady's house. By this time, the ladies in the village had finished doing household chores such as doing the dishes, cleaning, putting the pig fat on fire, and setting up their spinning machine. The young men went to the lady's house of their choice. Traditionally, the Mizo house is a small one and cramped, so the young men never dared to sit deeper inside, crossing the main bed called kumpui, where the parents sleep. Some would even sit close to where pig fat was stored in pots. The lady was minding the fire in the hearth while spinning, and the young men, sitting around her, would request her from time to time to refill their pipes. A smart lady never showed publicly who was her lover, and treated all the young men in her house equally, as if all would think she was his lover. The young men were careful in their behavior and speech in the lady's house and showed decorum. They all moved back and gave space to the lady when she needed scotching work with the cotton. However, the lady should restrict herself only to 3 times of scotching in a night, over and above which her action would be condemned in the Zolbuk, where the Valupa would cut holes in the men's blanket. If this happened, it would be the duty of the particular lady to replace such blankets with new ones. Just as the Valupa were the authority in regulating the young men's courting procedure, they were also the rule setter in the duration of the visit. Just as the Valupa were the authority in regulating the young men's courting procedure, they were also the rule setter in the duration of the visit. In the olden times, the young men would gather in the Zolbuk after dinner. After the elders called the Valupa gave them instructions, they would go out in groups to the houses of ladies to pay them company called nularim. Some young men, however, chose to stay in the Zolbuk to chat with the Valupas and entertain themselves with their conversations.
Kai, nangi pani chu, in legin ho to nghe ni, nó là mít bánh một dầu sốt nè.
Mù lem hulo tur pun, zanin chu kan len chu reng re le ne.
Ye. in ti te kan lo ngai thang chu kan ti dewa e
đi bộ
au thu te khai
thao chắc có
Thì
một
hậu
lồng này
hiang chút tiếng nó cần
khai
bỏ hay làm
bằng vào tay đến tí nó chuột
e khala mai cho nên nom te pon nuam zo kan hi mo le
cái cần suyang anh làm nghe niang
à kan se big chuang la wa in soi khang ai no man di vek ngai
thật lâu chứ
lúc thảo một
cần trái số tiền này chuột lồng mấy nó làm tí ý suy là à vắt thòm về
poi lo kho pang chu kan soi te chu
zol book trong cái gì cho cần chút chút ôm ấy zol book khi lang val te ri khom na to lên na mấy ni lovin mà so na kan zir na bul pui berania ri grum thila po ma kan lu zung thei do na sa le doral a po nu dau te pon tan po thamon thak do na chu wagin valu pa te thu hi kan zum sam sam hi ava pai mo ve
ni kan thu ngoi thla kha thu poi mo takani naki thlanga kan thla te thla le chong thlanga kan ro chun tur ani a kan nam moi la le moi lo na thlenga min ti moi thei tu le min ti moi lo thei tu ni tin chu ba ka chuan mizo kan ni ti hin thra rengila naki thlanga heng kan tom ngai na te kan nun je moi hi kan lan chu tir ze la ngai ni
tu po chiat tok thei kan ni a abikin chiat to ni khwa tlang wal tlom ngai te in ha thin hle maya zual ko ni se achak zok ang main in phebat vat thina alom hle ni chu baka khor lu sun te in he minin ria pui thina zual ko wen khol khwa te in kal thine
cái chú bảo tổ chiếng mày ạ
kal ho lo
la lo pang ve mo ula zual ko kal khorin ria te tin mi thi chung te pui tu na pianga in ma chopa lom te tlan chelawa in ti zel hi tu la ni mi zo tlang wal chu in doi zep tur ani lo tin in ma eng po lom se atop thagin bengam tur ani
vâng anh nó mồm về thu ngày thạc chú
ye hey ang ai nom khop mai ti ro thut mun dan re mula ngai kha ve khan teu ben wa thak te ni a
không hiểu
le ti lama te hian han chu la
nu la rim chu da vâng ai sak om lo chu về in mela shiat ve kalom
chú chiang làm pôn thì lo một tùy nan liền lâu ai cần leng mấy mấy lo cái pu sẽ chắc đủ in tí cái ngay thật chắc cái lo
chu ti ngai thak chak viau chu ke mang kan soi khalang o
ye soi te
in to mai na te hi luwa zual ko khwal khuai kal na te hi ro pui kan tia tin mi thi na te ria mun nuam lo zo a te se om tak chung ten in mua chak zok ang simin khwal khwa te zual ko ten in kala heng te hi ro pui kan tia tha kan tia chom nung ze lang cheu o
ye
ar si chan chin hi kan hril cheu nga ka soi main upaza nei in chom nun ze ya pai mo lein ka si a ar si ming kan han soi do na man le min sia ge
xong rồi chú cả kia
in ang lâu với con xuyên á bạc tin
Kan soi nghe.
là lẽ
ar si ming
Song
sang
moi ro.
sang he zang khua mar ar si te le chou sei vung pukula thang
anh ấy là cái pu xong rồi lại khang chuan chặt chín khá những sự thấy nghe
kan soi ge man la hian kho khat nulam hel tha chong moi le sang chuana tlangwal mel tha aruk te ina ngai zong thina a ho pa hian no pang pon to pakhat tal hi athat zia a ho konga athuk ruzia bokani khomi pui mang ang chuan daya vutan phula an chang thina ni
a to pa chuan an man ta an that ta a bial nu sian nan tin a ruang chu tual zo la an da nula ho an kan tira ti chon an chian hlo tira ni ti chon a nung kara khan chong moi khan kalta chong moi khan kan ve thei lowin ai sum zo lo ta mual pho don lowin ruang chunga chuan aran trap ta an tha chuak ta ni chuan chong moi chu an that ve ta an tharau chu arsia lo changta ni
chu arsian chan nu chuan zantin an lang thin tina mi
lang lo ve kum khata tum ni chen lang thin
o ni chuanin eng hun vel angelan thina
zing ni chu ma lok hian ron chuak thina rang suna chuan an hnunga ron zui ve hian an soi thina ni rang suna chu arsi moi tak eng kwal pup mai hi ni
angai nom hle mai a chu tiang takin ka lo hrengai lo a sei chun zom zel to a
zanda kana sei chun zom don ni tro dampui pa
ale
zai tan zon du tok pho da hiang kan an chin sang tang chu lang va lo
zara tlai do de
mang thau le
mang thau le
an soi ngai nom le mai a ka lo tiep ngai lo thin ten
While the elders were in their confabulation, two adolescent men came to them. They believed themselves to have grown up enough so as not to be used among other boys to collect firewood for the zolbu.
Ani le in sang tem hul to em
hul ve to e
nang am hul to em
hul toi
in chiang chi amo come on han mu chin teu
van oi om lo ve o
inoi to em tang val
ti na to e de ni chi na siet meng chu
tem chu nei ve ka ti
aya
chot mai la
hey a sei ve to khop mai kan pom ve theng em
bom nei don lo mi
mom mai ang
pom em
The elders checked if they were qualified for exclusion from the firewood collection duty by plucking their pubic hair. They found that the length of their hair was as long as their tobacco pipes called vaibeldon.
Vaibeldon te po zem ve thei do don hi kan pom ve theng em tang val ve to hle mai
This meant the boys were no longer boys, they could be considered young men.
lo mem
The young men would willingly volunteer to bring the sad news of the demise of the person to their relatives in other villages.
in seng em
se lo ve le
ani chuan mei ser ta ke ngulai kal hal mai do na mi niang
e nia kan bakal ngal me nge
so chung tlang khuwa son o kan kho chen chia son
nia me chet la kan bakal ngal nge e nia ti han me chet la kai la orang namin bakal lamo
In any unfortunate event of the death of a family member of the rich or the poor, at any time of the day or night, whether rain or shine, the young men hastily volunteered as messengers to tell the news to the relatives of the deceased in other villages. There was no light like today, so they had to use torch made of bamboo. These young men would not directly announce the news of the demise, but they would use circumlocutory method, saying that their relative fell seriously ill and was in a critical condition. The young men for the Zulko never lost time in carrying the news, and they hurried off running. When people met them on the way, they had no time to talk with them, and the people would comment, "You are in such a hurry. It seems you're running for Zulko." If a stranger or a visitor in a village died, the elders called the Valupa would request the young men to inform the news of the demise to their relatives. The young men and women sat together and shared their sympathy toward the family of the deceased.
Anu le pa te po hian ani nga na ni hemi an thom ha chung cha nga te po hian in ama hi te mang renga nulat langwal en ton tlak ye kan soi theng chi hi ni a.
When a person died, the bereaved family would be lovingly smothered with love, and all help required would be given by the young men and women. For the bereaved family, The ladies fetched water and crushed the grains. If someone died in the village, the men immediately went to the house of the demise to comfort and to help the family. The young men would be digging the grave. Each man did not want to work lesser than others, so there is a tussle in their effort to deliver work. The younger ones among them would collect tree trunks from the nearby jungle and other materials for the grave. They would wait for each other when they collected stones for the grave, and the leader called the Valupa would give them instructions. During grave digging, each young man felt that others might be too exhausted, so they tried to make others comfortable by trying to enter the hole and work there for as long as they could. This being the mind of each man, they tried to relieve each other, and in the process there ensued tussle. Sometimes due to this struggle, the digging could not progress efficiently. The most altruistic who refused to come out often had to be pulled out by their hair. During the time of the major festival of the Mizos, the Chapcharkut, the chief of the village and his elders carefully planned on how to celebrate the event.
Lalpa, kan zo tlang to niang. Thler tin kan ngai tua. Kan zo tlang lom toin ka sia.
Ani chuan ahun le ni bi te kan siam thei ni mai na sia.
Chu tiang lalpa nangin hun le ni te in ro ta ka chun. Ku sa te kan mamu don nge ya. Khati huna khan cholkar ni vel hi in pu chanan mang tai la. Fu mei long mo te chun thabi chiarin thate alo lei kang de wanga thabial jan te po kan nang thei mei long mo le kan ti de wani.
Pusai rumah soyang deu kan lalpa solkar nga na vela hiam ti la thate polo bial to anga ta chuan khuwa mi kui te point lim takin heku thi kan mang tlang thei tura kan ngaya chu kan non got ve ni
Ani chia chu ka soi thei lova. Thabial zan chu ni thei nge se train ka sia.
Sang chu pang chu chu.
Hey, vau te lo par tran to a. Thing na le thing dang te po lo chon no trana. Romela chu zam na sa to le sia. Lung te po leng tranin. Hun la han ru chi nin ka selo.
Uparu ma nge lung hi lo leng thin ni.
rot na chu thakop mai lalpa
Ole kan ngai dan te kan soi tlang a thai. Kan ngai dan te point person halo boka. Tuna soi nu nung ber tu phei ka chuan. Soi thiam boka. Atinga lel om le zul sa ting ka ria.
ningot mai
Em po ni sela hi tiang Henry men ruat sin teang. Tuna changani thum ni ya. Lun pui kong siamila. Tu ma khuwa changin khual khuwa jin bolo ni sela. In tinin kutzu bil theu ni box sela. Tuna changani som pangana. Thado te polo van lai tonga. Chu ti lai chuan chapchar ku chu mangila. A thamei lo mo. Enge in nei dan.
A tha khopang.
Fu khopang lalpa. Chu hun
lalpa rot na chu at tha he mai kai ka pon ka lo ngai tua ka phak ang tokin chu mi hun tu ti thei ngai ni se van lo om don ve
Kan lalpa nge fingin ro rel thiam thi ne.
we om te pon thamun thak thimot mai te ro
Thamai lo.
lal fing hnuaya om hi chu upa te tan po hian a thlamuan thla kan ni.
Kan tlang au po kha tuna kan thu rel kha wa au hal mei sela thanga.
Khai khai khai. Lâu ngay thật trâu râu khỏi. Tu nó trăng ơ đi sổ bằng ơ. Thà vàng lai về khiên. Chập chار cụt. Râu búi ta cầm hân năn đi đô đó. Tu mà khuôn khua dìn bầu lâu tùr. tin mi tinin ku zu sak chau tu rani a ku sa zon chau tu rani boke heti chung hian chu kwa lip takom tu rani a nu pa reng reng in ho lo tu rani boke.
On festival day, each family was expected to eat festival meat, and those who didn't have meat readily available would try to get some animals from the jungle. There was no clear-cut procedure on how to handle the case of a murder. The family of the murdered had the freedom to retaliate and kill the murderer. This act of revenge-seeking would force the murderer to take shelter in the only safe haven, which was the village chief's house, as he rushed in and clung onto the house post called Sutpui. He lived in the chief's house all his life, protecting him against all sorts of harm and danger. Thus, he essentially became the chief's bodyguard called Jim Boy.
Lal boy akum khua tan in tulut tina nia I tho chua sa po chani nei lawang lal rong I bol kum khua to anga I fanuman thlengin lalin tel to do nani eng ma chani nei to lawang.
On important occasions like the chhuang joy, the chief of the village and those that secured the honorable position of the tangchua would try to honor the most altruistic among the young men of the village. This was done by handing them the venerable first mug of the rice beer in the public called the Nopui.
Hey, Lompa, voin se chun chhuang joy ni a hian ke ni thian dun hi no pui dom tla ka min ngai nin ka hria aza thak ngot mai kholai a chhuat te hian min pot riau riau ang ti ne ka lo ni
chu lom a za tha ko mai eng ma kan o zong si lo wa ke ni ve te rul he zong no pui dom tla ka chi zia zang la kan ni box si lo min thak sun na khop mai
Ê, nang ni thiền đủ chú. Hãy ra hiến ni moi lom. Sống nó xuất tụt châu si.
ngồi tiếng mình thì sai riêng ấy
nghe thì tôi phải sùng đen du đã chặt kha lel pa hova in khom tu ra tia chẳng vào cái khom gì ngạ nó bùi đông ta cái
ngồi tệ
mà đi nó bùi đông turin hay cái đồng cầu châu này
ngồi tệ cái ni dùng nó bùi đông ta cái ni là về ngồi tệ cái ni ấy chẳng vào tôm ngay rồi cái tâm mà nó
cái in thì to anh trăng ngay đâu lel pa hova chẳng vào châu này
cái à
châu này nó cái xe ra cái in đông
ô mà sáng tháp bốn mà sáng tháp mẹ
Ê, in vật lồm ngay về lề nắng ni lâu chú nấu bùi đông tlạc căn nơi căn ôm lâu này thì ê sum đen rút là tiêu hi anh đông má sáu lạ in lâu thêm má chú căn in thiêng lâu này
lấy khai lal pa nó bắt dạ tha đón về le cái ni te zong ma kan ni si lo wa
ni lal pa hey no pui dom tla ka min ngai a lo mom diawa amaro chu cái ni te lun cái ni ai tom ngai hey tangwal tom ngai tak tak no ma si
ai khai lal pa me no pui dom tla ka ngai chu chuan in thang rei lo langin midang thok kan ti char mai mai tangwal tom mai khan no pui hi han dom ti da cheu นังนี่อินมาเราส่งชวนแล้วป้าไม่ป่วยอินเทียงเรานี่ฮี
หันดมมาสเตะเซ่
ไอ้ไข่เอาจะถ้าโดนไปเลยตัวมันปลุกเราแล้วไหม
กันตั้งป้าส่งไม้ต้นสนุปุยอันตรงมาสัตว์ปกะอันเซมกัวลุละซาอินฟอรินอินลามแต่งอ้อ
คงโซ่จะปลาสู้ทงด้วยไงไหมอ่ะ
เฮ้ยเลยซาอินฟอรินลามิละกันตั้งป้าส่งไม้เตะปันหิข้าอันลามแต่เซ่ลมป้านังอันลามแต่เซ่
นั่งอีล่ามังจูเกณฑ์
ที่
ที่
เตะนังอิลามเทียมเดือดจอกอันลามเตะ
ตัวเราเมย์
โชคโดนเจ๊กี
ดาบินไทยต้อง
ใคร
นำเงี้ย
นวมดุบแล้วไปกันลุกปอดเตะกันรัดหลังบอลเตะกันทิ้งกลางนั่นแหละก็วันนี้กันควงซอยนี่ตานชวนวันนี้ตานชวนถูกตกพอดีละนักตุกจานน้ำอะกันชุนสมเลยโดนเนี่ยโอ้จะไปนกกันเลี้ยเที่ยวโดนเนี่ย
กันเลี้ยเที่ยวตุ้งโอ้โดนเนี่ย
The chief of the village and his nobles sat together in the chief's house to discuss how to undertake the cultivation in the following year.
หุ่นครบหมาย
อันนั้นป้าเงี้ยเริ่มเสียเงี้ยอินไงด่านจูกระเทลวะดาร์ควงมัวโซกุมเรียดไล่เลี้ยงตัวอินกระเทียโซเงี้ยอินไงเวดาน
ลัลปาอาฟูมาตั้งโซดาร์ควงมัวโซไก่พวกกระริลรัวเราอมลายเนี่ยกุมเรียดไล่เราเลี้ยงตัวนี้ลัลปาอันไหนเล็ดลักโตเขาปังกติ
นี่รถน่าดังเตลโอเมม
อัตราสุกติยะมามวลรำคีทรากติเดวะกระเสียส่วนเหล่าส่วนกุมโกเลงนินกระเสียลัลปา
โอ้อาชายอุปฟิงเลงไอตัวน่ะชับปุยในเต้นนี่ไงด่านที่หันสอยอะอามาโรจูกุมทาราตันชวนดาร์ควงรำจูเทไม่ละช้างอ่ะ
ลัลป้าเป็นจุดที่ติจนินอันปมปุยไงตัวนี้
ชาลมจุงกระจุดทะลุตุกลม
พวกก็ชาติซงตักไม่เหล่านี้
นัลปองเงี้ยเราเรียลเทียมชินเงี้ยไม่อ่ะ
เทียม
ทำ
ตะ
หม
กั
ด
น
ข้าว
นี่
สินก็ไม่จะรู้
งวยตัวสุดที่งะดาร์ควงมัวกันในโดนนี่จวนลัลปาเฮียนอดูนั่นไรเบอร์มุนโซทั้งโดนนั่นโดนล้อนี่
ทั้งอมตอกทั้งตัวเรา
ลงตะชวน
อันนี้ตัว
ทั้งมาสเปรตัวลม
เขาปอเต็นเรมินตีเตชวนกันหิลงำนาง
ในเงี้ยตัวนี่กันลัล
อัฐลายเปอร์เนสละความมีปุ๋ยแต่ปัญจุกันดูทุกสามันเองจุดตัว
นี่อ่ะ
รถนัฟเฟลตะกันนี่กติกา
They also made plans on how to clear the tracks, such as between the villages, the way to the village water source, and the path leading to their farms in the jungle.
อารมณ์ครบไหมตุนจุมาสวยหัวตานะกติจูกันเฟกงฮีอันนิ่มต่อเรียวไหมอะ
นี่
สาฟ้ายังไงบ้ากะ siam that te po ngai ni
khu khu lalpa te pon ka lo ngai tu na sa hun rem chang ma sa bera ti fai ta ton ibula hen ka soyang ti katia tun hun hi soi chuana hun rem chang ta kan in ka hria
kan lal pa rot na chu tha ka ti ka pom puya kar tir lam khan ke po ka zuk fea anim to riau maya siam tha chu ngai ka tia kan lal pa na rong soi chok po chu a tha ka ti khop mai fe kong ba ka ngai mo chu tui khur kong khu nia a chho sia rit phura han kal vel a har sa sia hu hu siam that ngai ka tia ka ron soi lang ve ni
a ti khop mai
thai poi mo om te oreng ni
ka fe kong sam fai mai ba ka rot na dangaron lu bela tui khur kong siam that kami nen khan engtin nge niang ni khata apan hin kan thok kop don nge nia ni san kan rek don isoi ho te ngu kha kha
lalpa heting heng ngai dang kalo nei ve a chu ti ga tui khur kong ne fe kong ne ni khata sa chu mun hia te po hen in chen tai lai fu long mo o te ka ti dewa tam zokin fe kong chu lo sa sela upa pakate val u pakathian mi som bor vel hian in tui khur kong chu lo ti fel ta sela a thamei long mo o te ka lo ti dewa ni
An important component of each village was a blacksmithy called Pum. Here, the blacksmith would work all year round without any payment doing his service for the village, and every household would bring their metallic tools and equipment to sharpen. In return, each family would give him his food ration whenever they can. The Pum occupied an important position not only because of its functional importance. It was also a place where all kinds of conversations abound. The old folks would hang about there chatting with the blacksmith as he was doing his work. They would talk about the village news, folk tales, hunting expeditions, battle stories, beautiful ladies, among others. Sometimes they would talk about the supernatural and the omens, their crop plantation, and anything at all, including the tlomgaina and explicit adult jokes.
Hey, Thai na nai chin lal de wani mo. A o me ti khura le thir de nga hen chun hei Thai chun lal se le ni mo takana. Ani take. Ti khur te thir de nga te hen chun kan khlu ko lo.
upa te ho kha local te u thil soi ho tu roma I soi ho te u khai
nghe đi ta ava poi mo ombe
hey thil ngai tu tur pai mo tak oma I rel ta u khai.
From time to time, the elders of the village would meet to decide whether or not that year the village would receive blessings in community health, crop production, and they decided to hold a Gongpui Siam, which is a ritual which is the key to seeing what the future holds.
Upa ten tha kan ti tla kan I chuan kong pui siam tur chuan kan kal thon am yang
kalila
halan mai lo
halila ni mai lo
kiang ro ran nung tur nei tu kiang ro ran nung tur nei tu hetlai kong pui siam nan chuan thanga kan ti mai thon mi
ti mai la a tha khop bang chu ayan kine u cái màn suy cân giống nghe
suy khan giống la vút kha hết là mà hiên đồn đã ta chơi
kia giống nát
lại về đi trói cả đi tắt
đây bật nhị cáiron lá
bật cái cô đi ra tóc mấy lồng mò
This is a religious ceremony performed by the priests at the entrance of the village. It is done basically to predict if the community would receive blessings and prosperity in hunting and trapping of wild animals. The performers of this rite sprinkled ash inside a circular ring made of string on the road. This arrangement was guarded by 2 twigs of tingse tree on both ends. The next morning, depending on the footprints in the ash, they could gauge if the village would receive blessings the following year.
Khai, công in on ru. Khua thang in ni khua kia.
Khua tra le, khua xin kan nia, xin kan hồn ne, milu salu kan hồn.
Mà po mi suar in min bum to, nang ni po hi khua thai ni kan ring hau lo mai.
khua tha ni tu ke par te kan ni par na kan hon pun te kan ni pun na kan hon num to pang dam kan hon
To khal tin lo ni nei nem.
Có rau khai, in hạt to. Hạt du tây, du đang ông here.
Suar he ran nu do hai zu te po kan la li na.
The early Mizo sowed the cotton seeds in the fields. Some would make special places to grow the cotton. As the crops flourished and flowered, it was collected during the months of November and December. This flour was then dried in the sun, after which the traditional machine, herod, was used to clear the seeds. This was followed by a very lengthy process of traditional cloth making. From the sowing of the seeds till the final making of clothes, it was the ladies and the women that were engaged in the cotton business. In the olden days, the Mizo forefathers did not actively practice any religion. When there was any sickness, it was believed to be the work of the demon, or rammu as they were called, and therefore various rituals were conducted to appease the demon. Among the various rituals practiced in the olden days, the daibol is fairly common. Daibol would be performed whenever someone was sick and the family sought the help of a priest. The priest would come and attribute the demon as the reason behind the sickness and prescribe that a ritual be performed. The priest went to the outskirts of the village where he prepared an altar. In the altar, various ingredients were placed. With a hen holding in his hand, the priest then chanted various incantations.
Daibol thoi hial khopin nan lain namana anan na chan po hiat chua lo ni ta voinia hian daibol in karon thoi don ta ni ramachom nu ramachom pa kan ave nuai le nga chung pathian kan ave kan pile pu atanga kan lo tin to thin tua le mang muroke ka chhuang choi la atanga kan lo ti to thin voinia hian thangadam na ne mo
After chanting, the priest cut the hen with an axe. The priest spilled the blood on the altar. This ritual was performed to appease the demon, who was considered responsible for making the person sick. The work done, the priest then went to the house of the sick person. At the house, the family of the sick person eagerly greeted the priest by pouring water from the bamboo container. The priest then made the patient drink water from this container, after which he declared the sick person to be healed. The early Mizos eked out living by engaging in tough manual labor in the jungle. In the evening, however, they forgot all their exhaustion and happily headed home together. The young men and women coming back from the jungle after a day's work loved to play upon reaching home. Common among such games is a game called Insugnor. Here, two players, each holding the end of a long pole, are trying to push each other back. The early Mizos lived a simple life, but their social fabric was marked by a strong sense of community. Each man or woman performed their own roles as was expected by the society, and they did all these, walking the extra mile and keeping the welfare of others a priority. These forefathers will always be remembered by posterity for what they have left behind, and their values perpetuated. In the olden times, a Mizo tribe member never lived in isolation, cut off from the rest of the clan, but he stayed with the rest of the group, whose members helped each other in need. A Mizo tribe member would not seek his individual profit, but rather the good of the community. Due to this, traits such as sacrifice for others, daring even death to help a friend, and elevating friends and other people at the cost of oneself deeply defined the Mizo ethical code of conduct. The beginning of all these altruistic virtues was the bachelor's dormitory, or the Zolbuk. The earliest record of the institution of Zolbuk was at a village called Don, somewhere between 1600 AD and 1640 AD. It appeared that in olden times, the Zolbuk was the only place of gathering and an institution to carry out important activities. All the bachelors of the village slept in the Zolbuk, and here they received instructions on how to live. They listened to the rebukes or praises from the elders and learned practical advice. She was his lover. The young men were careful in their behavior and speech in the lady's house and showed decorum. They all moved back and gave space to the lady when she needed scotching work with the cotton. However, the lady should restrict herself only to 3 times of scotching in a night, over and above which her action would be condemned in the Zolbuk, where the Valupa would cut holes in the men's blanket. If this happened, it would be the duty of the particular lady to replace such blankets with new ones. Just as the Valupa were the authority in regulating the young men's courting procedure, they were also the rule setter in the duration of the visit. Just as the Valupa were the authority in regulating the young men's courting procedure, they were also the rule setter in the duration of the visit. In the olden times, the young men would gather in the Zolbuk after dinner. After the elders called the Valupa gave them instructions, they would go out in groups to the houses of ladies to pay them company called Nularim. Some young men, however, chose to stay in the Zolbu to chat with the Valupa.
Rigrum thila po ma kan lu zung thei dona sale doral a po nu dau te pon tan po thamon thak dona chu wagin Valupa te thu hi kan som sam mi avapoi mo ve
ni kan thung oi thla kha thu poi mo takani naki thlanga kan thla te thla le chong thlanga kan ro chun tur ni a kan nam moi la le moi lo na thlenga min ti moi thei tu le min ti moi lo thei tu ni tin chu ba ka chuan mizo kan ni ti hin thra rengi la naki thlanga heng kan tom ngai na te kan nun je moi hi kan lan chu tir ze la ngai ni
tu po chiat tok thei kan ni a abikin chiat to ni khwa tlangwal tlom ngai te in ha thin hle maya zual ko ni se achak zok ang main in phebat vat thina alom hle ni chu baka khorlu sunte in he minin ria pui thina zual kovin khol khwa ten kal thine
ke chu kal to chiang maya
kal ho lo la lo pang ve mo ula zual ko kal khorin ria te tin mi ti chung te pui tu na pianga in ma chopa lom te tlan chelawa in ti zel hi tu la ni mizo tlam.
Besides taking part in the discussions for the security and development of the community. In the olden times, the seniors among the young men, called the Valupa, were endowed with much respect and authority. After dinner, the young men would come to the Zolbuk, lean on the lintel at the entrance called the Bobel, and sing their hearts out. After some time, the Valupas would announce that it was time for them to visit the lady's house. By this time, the ladies in the village had finished doing household chores such as doing the dishes, cleaning, putting the pig fat on fire, and setting up their spinning machine. The young men went to the lady's house of their choice. Traditionally, the Mizo house is a small one and cramped, so the young men never dared to sit deeper inside, crossing the main bed called kumpui, where the parents sleep. Some would even sit close to where pig fat was stored in pots. The lady was minding the fire in the herd while spinning, and the young men sitting around her would request her from time to time to refill their pipes. A smart lady never showed publicly who was her lover and treated all the young men in her house equally, as if all would think and entertain themselves with their conversations.
Kai nang ni pani chu in legin ho to nge ni nula mit bein mu sok le
mu le hulo tur pon zanin chu kan len chu reng re le ne
in ti te kan lo ngai thang chu kan ti dewa ti po au thu te khai
tha cha ko
rom le yang chu tiang kan
khai pa helam
bang wal te den ti chuan
khala mai chona nom te pon nuam zo kan hi mo le
ege kan suyang inglam nge niang
kan shebik chuang lawa in soi kha ngai no man di vek ngai
a that lau chu
lu tha mo
kan tha so ti ni chuan tlo mai na lam te hi i soi la ava thom ve
poi lo kho pang chu kan soi te cheu
Zolbuk chang kai je chu kan thu ome Zolbuk hi tlangwal te ri khom na to le na mai ni lovin maso na kan jirna bulpui